Hello and welcome on in to Classic Pro Wrestling with the WFIA podcast show. I am Chris DeCarlo, the Vice President of the WFIA. Underneath me is the man with class, Mike the Class DiGregorio from Rhode Island. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Chris. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good, thanks.
In the corner to my left, as always, he is the player, the podcast host, the producer, the DJ, WFIA board member, Mr. Benny Scala.
What's better than talking about wrestling on a Thursday night with three good friends? I can do things, but it's still great.
Oh, internet glitch. Go ahead, Benny.
Oh, you didn't hear me? I said, what's better than talking about wrestling on a Thursday night with three good friends?
Thank you. Sorry, yeah, we had internet glitch. You guys spun on me. Sorry. And underneath Benny, we are honored and privileged to have my first former female pro wrestler on the show, former New England champion, New England Hall of Famer, CAC Hall of Famer, host of the True Crime with Benny on Monday nights. And she is the one and only Miss Brittany Brown. Welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Well, we appreciate it and we thank you. Benny, you want to offer a toast to our first former female guest here?
Yes, to the first, and it will be the best. Brittany Brown.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. We are honored and privileged. We are live right now on the Playa Entertainment Network on YouTube. And within 24 hours, this show will be downloaded, uploaded, however you want to say it, to Spotify.
Reloaded, yeah.
And Benny, we are on the radio station, aren't we?
Yeah, we will be tomorrow night at 7:05 on Want Radio. They got what you want.
Awesome indeed. Before we get into it with Brittany, could you please put up my copyright disclaimer, Benny? This is Copyright Law 107, Fair Use. We are talking and remembering and showing clips to keep classic pro wrestling alive. And we are going to comment on the videos that we have here clipped. They are my personal collection. I do not sell them. I do not rent them to nobody. I clip them for the purpose of our enjoyment and to keep classic pro wrestling alive.
Amen.
And with that, Benny, let's roll our Miss Brittany Brown clip.
Oh, yeah. Hang on 1 second here.
Kai whips her into those ropes now. Brittany Brown with a leapfrog into a sunset flip. It's all over now. Brittany Brown captures a victory over the ring veteran, Lalani Kai, one half of the Golden Girls, and the winner, Brittany Brown. Let's get back to the action right here in Empire Pro Wrestling. Steel cage, watch out now, watch out. See the sneakiness. You gotta watch out for that sneakiness. She'll catch you from behind. Never turn your back on a wrestler. Never turn your back on a lady either. Because lady wrestlers are more dangerous than men, that's right. As she attacked her before the bell, Brandy Alexander.
Grasps. Beautiful Brittany Brown.
Finally, we have
look at this, a nice reversal. 1, 2. Look at that. Oh, look at this. Jamie West got him by the hair. That's not right.
I don't see that.
Whips her into the corner. Oh, nice.
A boot to the face.
Nice karate kick. 1, 2.
And welcome Miss Brittany Brown.
Thank you very much, Vic and Don Barzini. And I want to thank the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Joe Bruin. I am proud to be part of the class of 2013. And there's three people I want to thank very much, because without them, there would be no Britney Brown. And that is Walter Killer Kowalski.
So some pretty cool clips of your great career there, Brittany.
Yes, that was a good one. Who did that? Benny?
Nope, that's me.
That's you. You did that. Very good. Good job.
Yep, thank you.
You got some naughty tactics there, didn't you?
I like in the very beginning, you must have had like a muscle tweak in your upper, leg there.
I love that move.
You had to slap it out. Yeah.
Choking her out and lifting her up over in the corner. That was an awesome move. Some pretty cool venues, of course, we saw there too.
Well, I have to interrupt real quick because it cut off right when I left me hanging, because she said she had three people to thank, and one was Walter Killer Kowalski. Brittany, can I guess the other two?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to guess Moola, and I'm going to guess your dad.
You know it.
Okay. I get an A.
You get an A+.
Well, I try and keep them about 2 minutes or less, so that was my fault. But
Mrs. P is here, Brittany.
Yes, I'd like to. Before we got started, I sidetracked it here with this internet flipping on me, or maybe it's all of us. I don't know, but hello, live chat. Benny will keep us apprised of that. So go ahead, Mike. You have some questions for our guest, Brittany.
Yeah, I got just a couple of questions. First one is pretty much, I know you said you were trained by Fabulous Moolah and Walt Killer Kowalski. What would you say are the differences in the type of methods that they taught you?
Well,
I know it's a tough one.
At Moolah's, it was all girls.
Yeah.
Only girls. And it was repetitive after repetitive after repetitive moves. With Kowalski, it was guys and girls. And that doesn't mean that they didn't commingle. You had to work with the guys as you're learning, whether they were 500 pounds or 125 pounds and everything in between. You were treated absolutely no different than them. And he was really, really hard on you, which I think makes a good worker, though. I have to say, at the time, you think that he's being too hard on you, but you appreciate it when you become a pro wrestler. You're glad that you learned from two very different people, but very quality trainers, very much quality trainers. I couldn't have asked for two better trainers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chris, if you got a question.
I was just gonna jump in and comment. We don't see that many cage matches anymore like we used to back in the good old days. And you were actually in one there. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I've been in a few actually, probably maybe 8 or 10 of them. And somehow I always end up bloody. I don't know how. I have a few photos on my Facebook page of me coming out of the cage with blood dripping down my lip. But somebody always ends up bloody. And usually it's both of us, actually. That was really interesting. The first time I ever did that, it felt really different because, sure, it feels different when you're being thrown up against a cage, but there's almost no way to prepare for it. You know what I mean? You can't practice in a cage, right?
Right.
So it was definitely different. And of course, the rules are a little different too. It's who gets out the door or over the top. It's not a 3 count. So it's very, very different. And it's not something you can really prepare for. So the first one was very strange, very strange. I was a little leery of it that night. That was in New Jersey. And then I did several local ones that were in a cage as well. But they're fun. Good stuff. Different world, basically, if you ask me.
Yeah, wow. And then, of course, obviously the blading, if you will, and then being stitched up too afterwards, right?
Yeah, well, you know something? I never bladed. Not once. I wouldn't.
All
I
right.
asked to multiple times. I will not cut myself. I'm not going to do it.
Good for you. That's
Yeah.
what I said.
That,
I can admire that.
Yep, I
yeah, that's
was
good.
offered an 8-week trip down to Jerry Jarrett's, and he wanted me to work 6 nights a week for less money than what I was making at work, and he wanted me to blade every single night.
You'd wind up looking like Abdullah at the end of it.
Wow.
You know, it's good that I have bangs, I guess, right? Because poor Abby doesn't have bangs.
Right.
So, you know, I could hide it, but it's not something I was willing to do, not even one time. And needless to say, I said no to that trip. And it's too bad because I was going to be
Wow.
Jeff
Yeah, that
Jarrett's
good.
sister.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
I think I'm taller than him, though, so
Wow.
I don't think he would have liked that too much.
Wow. Well, I mean, that kind of brings me to a question. We always ask people, we love hearing like Iron Sheik or Andre the Giant stories. Did you meet either one of them?
Iron Sheik many times. He was on many shows with me, and I came across Andre a few times, but never actually talked to him. Heard a lot of stories about him. I actually even saw him across a restaurant one time, a bar. He was at the bar. I was in the restaurant. But yeah, I saw a few things, but never actually went up and introduced myself or anything like that. I knew his very, very good friend, Tim White, very well. I actually live right off of the street where the Friendly Tap is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I heard about
it's
that.
about
The
3
former
miles
referee.
from my house, or maybe 4 tops.
Yeah, we've heard, of course, Johnny Rods was driving the Giant around back in the day too, right, Benny?
Oh, yeah. He's got some great stories about Andre.
I bet.
I have a question. I have a
Go ahead.
question for you. Is it true that Walt Killer Kowalski was the first wrestler to pin Andre the Giant? I read somewhere where that he was the first one to pin Andre the Giant. I don't know if it's true,
I
but
mean, that would not surprise me in the least. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it's true, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
yeah, that's pretty
No, it wouldn't
amazing.
surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me either. But you know what does surprise me is that Walter wouldn't have told us that, because he talked a lot. I'm surprised he wouldn't tell us that. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to check
do some
that out.
research on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I never heard that one either. But again, I wouldn't doubt it either, because then he also donned the mask as one of the executioners with Big John Studd, Madison Square Garden
Yes.
too.
Well, it's kind of strange that you asked that I asked that question. Is because I saw that on his wiki page. I don't know who writes them, but they actually put in there that he was the first ever to pin Andre the Giant in North America. So,
Wow.
interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going
Wow.
to check that out for sure. That's interesting.
Well, and just like they tried billing, Hulk Hogan was the only one to slam him, but we know if you go
It happened many times before that.
Yeah.
until 87, he was slammed by more than just Hogan, obviously.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Benny, why don't you please roll our second clip, and we can get into that with Brittany too.
Off to a fast start. There's the bell. The bell hadn't even rung. Now they've started. Kowalski going to work on Buddy Rogers. Rogers almost out of the ring.
This fellow doesn't take this jacket off that it seems he's wearing. That's part of him. There he goes. That's Bobby Davis's beast. And man, he's like some Neanderthal fella. Look at that. That certainly isn't a mohair suit, but I haven't seen mohair. That's a terrible pun.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match is one fall. Introducing in this corner from Brooklyn, New York, at 218 pounds, Pete Sanchez. His opponent at 240, the Beast.
On one side of the ring, Arnold Skolin. And the other side of the ring, Fred Blassie. One corner, Bobby Backlund. Bobby. They call funny people Bobbies, you know. Huh? Bobby? And then George.
Oh, that's great.
Some rare ones there, right, Benny?
Oh, yeah.
Especially the Beast led to the ring by one of your favorites, the manager Bobby Davis.
Well, I tell you what, Bobby Davis, if you look at like a Bobby the Brain Heenan and a Cornette, a lot of managers pattern themselves after Bobby Davis. Bobby Davis managed Buddy Rogers in the late 50s and the early 60s. Bobby Davis was a kid, though. He's like 21 years old. He managed the Beast. He managed Dr. Jerry Graham. He got out of wrestling in the late 60s. I think he was 60s. He was barely 30. I believe he had a chance to invest in some Wendy's, and he got very, very wealthy, and he never came back into wrestling. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he was way ahead of his time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, of course, we saw Brittany's trainer there and some rare clips against the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers I did. And later then, probably before he retired, I'm guessing he was there against Nikolai Volkov, Benny.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, and that first clip of Kowalski, Killer Kowalski and Buddy Rogers, that was a huge rivalry in the late 50s, early 60s, when Buddy Rogers was the NWA champion.
Right. And of course, we never kayfabed, right? George the Animal Steel never would really talk that much, but back in 81, he sure did, didn't he? Did you get to meet him, Brittany?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I was on multiple shows with him. Yeah. What a great guy. Great guy.
I've heard that. Obviously he's put on a gimmick, of course, and he was a school teacher, right? Or some type of
high school football coach / teacher. He had a master's degree.
Yeah, he was brilliant. They said he was a very, very smart man.
He's in the Michigan, I think, like high school coaching Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
very smart man.
Wow,
amazing.
And, wow. So, any funny stories about him behind the scenes, Brittany?
About George Steele?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think what is so funny is that his personal life and him out of the ring could not be more opposite of what he really was. And it's funny, we were talking right outside the dressing room, literally 2 inches outside the dressing room, long before the show was starting. And in walked 2 kids, probably about maybe 10, 12 years old. And they walk up to us and we were talking like 2 regular people, right? And he instantly, now the kids were coming in from behind me. So I didn't know why all of a sudden, with nobody in this building, he starts grunting and going, hey, looking at him. He's like this close to me. And I'm sitting there going, and then I turned around and in walks the 2 kids. But boy, what a professional. He didn't say a word to me. He didn't give me a signal, nothing. I instantly knew that somebody had to be somewhere.
Right.
But I thought it was really cool. And he signed autographs for them, you know, and he did his back and forth like this to them. And he was going like this and everything. He was just a great, great guy and an intelligent, very intelligent man, very well spoken. I remember back towards the end of his career, he was on a Killer Kowalski birthday show, and he actually was sick at the time, and he came anyways, and he performed, and he actually had a bag, colon bag,
Oh boy.
and he wrestled with
Oh my
that.
God.
And nobody
wow.
knew it
Well, you're
was
talking
there.
about a dedicated professional. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that can't be easy. That can't be an easy thing
No.
to wrestle with a
I-
colonoscopy. Wow. That's
I
wow.
do.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was so impressed with him. He came for no pay because it was a Killer Kowalski birthday show. He showed up on Walter's birthday and performed, and Triple H did as well.
Right. Wow.
So it was a great show, but what a professional he was. Just a nice all around great guy.
I gotta ask, I mean, probably the world wants to know, maybe, or I'm late, maybe. The green tongue, was it food coloring? How did he do it?
It was the nights I saw it. Yes, it was. Just a drop. Believe it or not, just one drop did all of that.
Wow. Benny, I mean, you were probably wondering too back in the day, right?
I tell you what, when I first saw him, it was 1969. I think he was about like 30 years old. And I think Bruno was the one who discovered him somewhere and brought him in. But when he first came to the WWF, he was actually very articulate. And he gave these really, really good promos. And his finishing hold was the flying hammerlock, which was absolutely devastating. And but then he was gone. He would, at that point, he was still teaching and coaching, so he would only appear in the summer. And then once the school was back in session, he'd go back to Michigan. So he was gone for a while. Next thing you know, he comes back and he's a Neanderthal. It's like, what the hell happened to the guy?
Vince Sr. Came up with the idea, I'm sure, probably, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm thinking, well, I remember you from 2 years ago. You spoke very well, but I guess I figure wrestling fans have short-term memories.
Yeah, and they did such a good job of protecting the business as far as, I mean, who would know? I mean, it's funny because it was like a shocker when they heard that Hacksaw Jim Duggan hung out with Iron Sheik. It was like a big deal, And then the whole curtain call thing with Triple H at that time, that's when it kind of stopped after that. So, at least in the more modern wrestling, I guess you could say, the Attitude Era, you could say.
Yeah,
So,
Mike the Clash, you got a question for Brittany as well, too.
Well, I mean, as far as is that how you got into the business? By Killer Kowalski when you met him, or how did you actually get introduced to the business?
So I was watching it as a little girl, really little girl, with my dad. We loved it. And then my sister started watching with us. My mother hated it. And I think just to piss my mother off, my father watched it more and more because she hated it. So, of course, it was three of us all watching it. And she's out there doing dishes going, oh, this is violence is terrible. And of course, I was a daddy's girl. So we ended up watching it together. My sister, she was older than me. She started going out with friends and stuff. And it was just me and the dad. And he thought it was so cool. He just did. And one day I was reading I believe it was the Patriot Ledger, which is a paper in Boston, Mass, and outside of Boston. I lived 30 miles south of Boston in Situate, Mass. And there was an ad. I was 19 years old. There was an ad for somebody to teach someone how to wrestle. And I showed my father. I said, oh my God, look at this. Look, this is great. Let's go. So I called the guy, and he no-showed because he actually did show up, but I didn't know he showed up. I called him from a payphone, believe it or not. Who remembers those, right? Hard to believe we ever had those, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember them.
And then they went up to a quarter. But I called the guy. I took the ad with me. I called him and I said, I'm here. We came from Situate. We drove to Brockton. It was like a 45-minute drive. Where are you? We've been waiting a half hour. And the guy actually said to me, who's that man with you? So right then and there, I'm like, I know he was here, because I brought my father with me. Apparently, the guy didn't want me to bring my father with me. So it was a phony baloney person just looking to take my money and not train people how to wrestle. So that alone made me go, that's it. I went home. I called 411. Yes, 411. Asked for Columbia, South Carolina, and asked for Lillian Ellison because somehow I heard her name. I don't know where I heard it. It had to be on WWF TV. Somehow that happened. I never dreamed they were going to give me the number and it would really be her. But by God, I called and she answered on the second ring. Within a month, my father and I flew to Columbia and I started her school a week later. I flew myself there every Friday night and went home every Sunday night. After the first couple weeks, I could barely walk to get myself on the plane without bursting into tears from the pain, from the falls, from the repetitiveness that went on all weekend long. And I tell you, I've never been through anything like that in my life. Never. And I went there for several months. I did that until the airfares doubled. And being at this time now I'm 20 and living alone, I live by myself. I said, well, I can't afford that. I can't every week. I can't do that. And there's no sense in going once a month. Right. So I was getting my Mustang fixed at a body shop outside of Boston. And I got out of my Mustang. This big, huge guy got out of a little tiny Porsche and he stood out because the car was so small. And I just looked at him and he kind of looked at me and he looked over and he said, boy, you should become a wrestler. You're a big girl. Because I'm 6'1". And he shook my hand and he said, my name's Tony Santos Jr. Nice to meet you. Would you like to become a wrestler? And I went, do you know me? And he's like, no. And I said, well, my name is Brittany Brown and I've been training at the Fabulous Moolahs and I'm actually looking for a school right now. And he said, take my number. Here's my business card. Come to my house next weekend. Meet my wife, Sandy, and off we'll go. I'm taking you to Killer Kowalski's. And I was like, oh, really? That's how it all began, the second part. And it was wonderful.
That's a great
That's a great story. Yeah.
It really is.
Talk about a chance meeting, though. The Porsche he was in belonged to Misty Blue Sims, and he was having it fixed at the same body shop that I was having my Mustang fixed at.
Wow. And of course, the rest was history.
The rest is history.
Benny, you have a question too for Brittany.
Well, I mean, Brittany is very unique for many, many reasons, but one reason why she's unique, she had a fan who never missed. You wrestled for what, 28 years, Brittany?
Yes.
You had one fan who missed 0 matches, correct?
Correct.
Who was that?
My dad.
Can you guys believe that? 28 years, and she wrestled.
Wow.
Wow, that's great.
Did not miss a single match. That's unbelievable.
That is awesome indeed, for sure. Now, you're in the New England Hall of Fame. Do you know a friend of ours in the business? He's wrote 4 books already, Mr. Sheldon Goldberg.
Very well. We go way back, all the way back to 1989, I believe.
Yeah, I understand he's been working on some New England Championship Wrestling DVDs, I guess, coming out in the near future. I saw on his Facebook page.
Yes, and he's got a book signing coming up next month for his 4th book, and I believe there's going to be one more in the series.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to that because they've been quite interesting. I'm not a fan of fiction
And
at all.
read them through. I heard they're very.
I read his books.
Wow.
I have to apologize.
Great.
I have to apologize in advance for Dangerous Dave's star, Brittany.
Go ahead, Benny.
Can you guys read it?
Yes.
Yeah. Moola ever went to a nudist speech?
I've never in my life been to a nudist beach. I don't even know where one is. And I never brought the subject up with Moola, but I'm guessing she would not have gone to one. Just my guess.
I would guess too, but I think they're in Italy, aren't they, Mike?
Yes, they are. In fact, when I was a kid, I got taken to one. Didn't realize what the hell was going on. On accident. It wasn't on purpose.
Long Island, where I grew up.
Sicily. Yeah. When we were kids, I was about 7. Yeah.
Wow.
There was one they used to call it Hot Dog Beach.
What's that? Yeah, they have them all over the place in Italy, and in Germany they can go topless. I remember that when I was in Germany, because it was kind of a shock to me. Because I went to a pool one time when I was, I don't know, I think I was maybe about 20, and next thing you know, that was it. Yeah, wow. So it's common in Europe, not so much North America, but yeah.
Not something I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
I have another question for Brittany, if I may ask.
Of course.
All right,
sure.
So I've been doing, Brittany, what have we done? 63 episodes of true crime, right?
Yes.
And I have to tell you, and Dangerous Dave is in the chat room. I mean, you guys are not just friends. You're like family to me now. And it's so much fun doing these shows with you. And I really feel like I've, even though we've never met, I've gotten very close to the both of you. And, both of you guys are like, you're the salt of the earth. So with that being said, how does such a nice person like yourself play such a great heel?
That's a good question.
I think if you're a female and you grow up with a sister and you fight a lot, you can act mean and pull it off. You really can. I was probably the most annoying little sister that a girl could have. I at least that's what I was told. So, and I do believe it. I was pretty mischievous, as they call it. I was a downright brat, and I was very good at it. So some people like to say that the nice part is the act. And I'm really a downright little you-know-what that starts with a B.
The B word.
Wow.
I don't believe that.
Nope. I don't either, but a lot of people say that. They say, oh, she's just being that. A lot of people, I'll tell you this. I did. He was a great dad. He was the best. A lot of people used to say, I'd love to see you be a baby face. Well, somebody brought that to the attention of Killer Kowalski, and he asked me to be one once. And I said, Walter, I don't think I can do it. I really don't think I can do it. Those little kids out there, throwing things and at people, at the heels, obviously, so they wouldn't be throwing it at me if I was the baby face. But, you grow to kind of not like the kids at the shows because of the way they treat you as a heel.
Right.
So Walter had me be a baby face once, and he came flying into the dressing room. I mean, he pushed those doors open. They bang against the wall, and he said to me, never again. You sucked at it. And I said, I told you.
Tried, right?
And that just tells me that I was doing such a good job of being a heel that there's no way he was going to have me be a baby face. Right. I think I grew to really hate those bratty little kids in the front row so much because of the way they treated me. And of course they're supposed to treat me that way. But I couldn't find myself being nice to them because I knew how bratty they were.
Now, Brittany,
know
though,
why
if there were a bunch of puppy dogs in the front row, you would always be a baby face, right?
Definitely.
Well,
or little pygmy goats, or those little miniature pigs, and kittens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How could you be mean to any of them?
Definitely not.
Bratty kids is a whole different story.
Exactly. You can tell I have no children.
what do you go to the CAC every year, Brittany, or no?
I used to. I was actually an officer and on the board, and I used to go all the time until the new regime came in, so to speak. I was on the board and an officer back when Lou Thez was president, and then I was also when Nick Bockwinkel was president. But after that, I haven't really been. If they were to do it in this area, like they did twice before, they did Mass and New York once, which I went to both of those as well. I would definitely go. But I hate, this is not heelish at all, but I'm going to be honest. My dog and I have never spent a night apart in 9 years. So I don't think I would leave him to go to Vegas.
No, I don't think Archie would even tolerate that, would he?
I don't think he would.
Yeah, or being in the shelter while she was gone, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you a quick funny story. Last October, 11 months ago, my dog had to go in for cancer surgery. And it was a pretty, he was having his, I'll be blunt and tell you, he was having his anal gland removed. So it was a pretty serious surgery. And it was going to be our first night apart. I dropped him off at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And by 5 o'clock Saturday, the doctor that did the surgery called me and said, I'm seeing a bit of separation anxiety here. How would you feel about coming to pick him up? And I went, oh, great. So we have never spent a night apart, including cancer surgery.
Wow.
So,
Mike, I believe you had another.
Well, I mean,
Mike, you had another.
No, I'm actually enjoying the story about her dog because we're kind of like the same way. To take our dog on the plane, and we had one dog that went into surgery, and she had the separation anxiety bad. She was well, she's still alive, obviously, but she's like 12 now, and she had to go in for surgery, and it was the same thing with her, and we had to go and get her. So I know how that is. I definitely know how that is because we have animals and stuff too. We've got quite a few actually, dogs and cats. So
yeah, it's amazing what a close bond you have with them. My goodness.
I had a dog, 2 dogs. I have 2 cats. So yeah, they're like our kids. We treat them pretty good, right? So
yeah, sometimes they behave. They behave better. Oh yeah, about yeah. So you trained under Moola. Do you have any Moola stories, like as far as like when you were on the road? Because I know you guys spent a lot of time on the road. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell you a good story that she told me. So this was obviously before my time, but it was just so funny the way she told the story. Do you guys remember way back, probably before all of our time, a woman by the name of Ella Waldeck, who was a lady wrestler? Do any of you remember her?
I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar.
So she was a pretty decent name, but way back. Well, apparently, Moola found out that her husband was having an affair with Ella Waldeck.
Oh.
And Ella had just had her match, and her husband was the booker. And he was in the ladies' locker room paying Ella when Lillian walked in. And apparently something was going on also when she walked in, and immediately they separated. So she pretended she didn't see what she saw. She was glad she saw it herself because it confirmed that the rumors were true. She had a booking with Ella the following week, and she kept that booking, and she made sure to drive. she drove far, far off the highway. And there were 3 girls, including Ella, with Moola in the car. So 4 girls total. Everybody started asking, Lillian, where are you going? We're way off the beaten path here. Are we going to make it in time? Well, she pulled into some woods, way out in the woods, and she beat the hell out of Ella Waldeck. And she said to me, Brittany, I punched and I punched and I punched like a chicken pecking corn.
Jeez.
I will never forget that saying. Because at first I was like, what are you talking about? And then I went, oh, a chicken pecking corn. I get it. You just kept punching and punching and punching. And Ella was a big woman. Ella was like my height, but heavier. And you all know the size of Lillian, but she beat the hell out of her. So I will tell you, that woman could hold her own.
Tough.
And I went with May and Moola to WrestleMania 14 in Boston. The 3 of us went together, and let me tell you, never have I pulled up to Boston Garden and been treated like such royalty as I did that day when I pulled up. Got right out of the vehicle, pulled up right to the back door of the Boston Garden, and off the person went with the vehicle, and we walked in the back door, and I got brought to the WrestleMania party for performers only afterwards. And I was like in awe. I mean, Vince McMahon, Stephanie, everybody. And of course, Triple H and Chyna were there, which I went to training with them. They came towards the last quarter of my tenure at Walters, but I knew Paul very well. I left when Joni started, but I knew Paul very well. He was the male champion and I was the female champion of Walters Federation at that time. So, but it was interesting. Every single person that performed at WrestleMania 14 was in that party. And I felt like such a fool, but I stuck close to them because obviously they didn't perform on it either. But it was a very good time. And boy, what perks you get when you hang with them.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I can imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, then my question don't count then probably. I'm sure Chyna, Joni was pissed off when Triple H went with Stephanie, I bet.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, because it was going on for a while, apparently. And, you know, right under her nose, and she lived with him, and, you know, they had a future all planned out and, you know, buying a home together and that kind of stuff. And then to pick a lock on a suitcase and find what she found. And I mean, I didn't think adults wrote love letters. I don't know, but apparently this one did. So
wow.
Shame, shame, shame. Don't bring those things home.
Wow. Interesting story there, Benny, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question, Brittany. Did you, knowing Paul Levesque at that time, did you ever think that he was going to rise up to that level where now he's pretty much the main booker for WWE? Did you see that in him back then? I mean, honestly,
what I saw in him is the wrestler that he became.
Okay.
I definitely did see that. And I think everybody did. I have to say, I know Walter did. I mean, just his look alone.
Yeah.
Meaning his body and face, but, you know, his physique, his size, the muscles, the blonde hair, you know, not the best name. I don't think I would have agreed with Walter on that name that he gave him, Terrorizing.
That was awful.
Don't think I
Also,
would have
he
gone
was
with that.
so he was the one that gave him that name. I didn't know that.
Yep.
That was terrible.
Yep.
But that was very short-lived, correct?
Yes. Very.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought that.
WCW too.
Yeah, I thought that when he came out as the Connecticut Blue Blood, Jean Paul Levesque thing was kind of a you needed a character like that kind of at that time.
Absolutely.
So I thought they did really well with that.
I did too, and I thought he did really well with that too. And because I'll tell you, he was very shy, not the slightest bit, how do I say it? The act that he put on, meaning he was better than you and he knew he was better looking or had a better physique or a better wrestler, anything like that. Not at all what he was like. Not at all. He had the natural talent. It came to him very quickly, just like Perry Saturn and John Cronus. Those two had more talent than Paul even did when they first started. I'll tell you, my goodness, were they athletic, and the gymnastic background that the two of them had, unbelievable. Did I think the three of them were all going to make it? Absolutely. And they deserved to. They deserved to. They had the look and they had the skills. Did I ever think Paul would end up running the company? No, because I didn't think he would be marrying Stephanie McMahon. Never saw that one coming.
Okay.
I did not.
Wow. Yeah, I think Vince Sr. and Vince Jr. kind of frowned upon that, right? Back in the day, Benny?
I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany, real quick, what would, if Walter was alive now and turned on Monday Night Raw and he saw what was going on, what would he think?
I think, well, I will tell you that Walter was very proud of Paul, because Paul was doing quite a bit when Walter was still alive. He would be so undoubtedly proud that Paul is running this company, that he'd probably have tears in his eyes, honestly, because most of us had a very personal relationship with Walter. Walter was like a second father to me. And for me to say that, that's big. That's big, because me and my father were very close. And he was the most important person in my life. So to say that he was a second father, that's big. And he was. So my guess is he would have tears in his eyes and he would be absolutely beaming with pride that Paul is doing what he's doing.
Not for anything. I mean, so many of these wrestlers, like Flair, I mean, half the wrestlers love him, half can't stand him. Very few wrestlers, like maybe a Bruno, for one, but like there's very few where like you rarely, if ever, hear anything bad mentioned about them. And Killer Kowalski was one of them. I mean, even Bruno, I mean, arch rivals, but in Bruno's book, he had nothing but good things to say about Walter, about what a great worker he was, how committed he was to the business, and how how he kept himself in like tip-top shape. Just, how he was just a gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah, he really was.
Not easy to do, to be like that and just present yourself that way. That's great. That's good hearing all these stories, I have to say.
I mean, he's a Mount Rushmore heel, in my opinion. And I mean, just a class act. I mean, look at Brittany. I mean, so you were only a heel for that one match, Brittany?
A babyface.
I'm sorry, a babyface, right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at, they tried turning Goldberg heel. That didn't last long.
Yeah, the Cena turning heel thing didn't last long either. I think that was kind of, at that point in his career, it was way too late.
Way too late. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It just wasn't.
Benny,
it wasn't
if you
managed
will,
properly.
Go ahead.
No, I just don't think it was just ill-timed. I don't know. I mean, they should have done it maybe 10 years ago if they were going to do that.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, Benny, if you will, please put up my ECMC still pickup. As we mention each and every week on this show, and we will continue to mention until our good friend, Mrs. Robin Rustino, here in Western New York, Niagara Falls, gets her much-needed kidney transplant. It is ECMC Transplant, which is near Buffalo, New York here, area code 716-898-5001. Blood types are A negative, A positive, and O to match. And hopefully someday soon, we pray, Benny, that somebody helps Mrs. Robin Restaino get her kidney.
Absolutely.
And why don't you and Mike take over our independent wrestler of the week?
Okay, everybody. This week's indie wrestler of the week is Tim Bosby. Also, he's very known as a pretty good technical wrestler. He's about 240 pounds, 6'1", and he's a current champion of Memphis Wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah, he's. I guess they do rankings for the indie wrestlers, and he's like a top 10 guy right now.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So again, our indie wrestler of the week, Tim Bosby, also known as the Boz. That's his nickname.
Why don't you guys go on with our military salute to service for the week?
Sure. This week's military salute to service is Tama Tonga, U.S. Air Force. He was a mechanic, a B-2 mechanic for 8 years.
Wow.
Didn't know that one. So it's interesting finding all these former wrestlers that are veterans. And Tama Tonga, and he's currently in the WWE. I believe he's injured right now, but making his way back.
Yeah.
Wow, that kind of leads into my PSA for the week, actually, Benny, right? If you will, please. It is the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, which is actually to help and support our veterans out there. And it is fallenheroesfund.org, I believe, O-R-G. And you can check them out on your computer under the search there. And this foundation helps all of our veterans, I understand, which is a good thing. So that is my PSA of the week. Well, Brittany, we greatly appreciate our first former female pro wrestler we ever had on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you guys and telling stories and answering questions. It was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, we'll definitely have you back in the near future. Maybe a couple of our historians to join. What do you think, Benny?
Absolutely, Brittany. And if you could plug your radio show, because it's really, really good on the weekend.
Sure.
Oh yeah. So I'm on Funland Radio, and I am on from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock Eastern time. And we do 60s, 70s, and 80s. I love it. It is so much fun.
Really good stuff.
So as far as to get on to listen to you, is that part of that live 365 or 365 live? Same thing, right? Okay, so if you have the app, just look up Funland, right?
Funland Radio, or you can go to their website, and there's a listen live button right on there.
Yeah, if you type in Funland Radio in your search, you'll get it that way too.
Yeah, because I'm really enjoying that Want Radio. That's pretty good. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
play my kind of music. So.
Yeah, Benny does a great job. I love his program too. So now I'll listen to yours, Chris, too.
Yes, indeed. Well, I kind of promoted it, and I'm sorry I forgot Benny the Jet on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern for 3 hours, playing great tunes on our station, Want Radio, WANT. We got what you want, right, Benny?
Yes. Yeah, and Funland, Brittany's format's very similar, like 60s, 70s, 80s. If you like what you're hearing on Want, you'll love what you hear on Funland.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it is just a great opportunity and spread the word about everything. But of course, we want to promote you guys as well, live each and every Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern time here on the Player Entertainment Network. True Crime with the Bad Girl, the Player, and the Stars.
Yeah, and this Monday night is going to be a very good episode. We're going to be talking about Beretta, Robert Blake.
Oh, yeah. That's a good story.
Yeah. And we've changed our time starting this week, coming week, to 6 p.m. Eastern.
So you guys are on earlier?
We changed our time at 6 o'clock.
All right. Good to know. And everybody, of course, tune in. We what I usually say is please watch, like, and subscribe to the Player Entertainment Network here on YouTube so we can get our goal to near 1,000 or more. Right, Benny?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to be sending everybody checks, even though it probably costs the postage will cost more than the
Appreciate Brittany Brown joining us this week. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very nice meeting you, Brittany, for the first time.
Yes, absolutely. Nice to meet you too. I watch your show, and it's nice to actually speak with you guys because I see you all the time.
Well, it's good. It's good seeing a fellow New Englander on here. So, because my wife's originally from Mass, and I lived in Fall River for a while. So I don't know, Brockton, Fall River, those. Because I lived in Fall River, and now I live in Providence. So I'm still in the area, though.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, we got some pretty interesting guests coming down to Pike in the month of October, and please check us out each and every week here. Benny, why don't you take us out of here? Guys, thank you. Take care and good night.
All right. Good night.
All right. Take care. Have a great week, guys.
Bye. Thank you again.